Hi everybody, welcome to part 3 of the series of videos on data collection. This, I promise, will be the shortest of the 3. So I'm talking about field notes and how important they are to keep while you're in that process of collecting data. When I say field notes, that means handwritten or typed. Either one of those is fine. And basically you're putting whatever you observe or you're thinking about or you're wondering, you're putting that into a written form so that later when you go to write up your data analysis, you have a record of those thoughts. And it's easy to think, oh yeah, I'll remember this, but we know how busy people get and it's hard to keep all of those thoughts in the front of your mind. So field notes are the best way to do that. Now, some tips for field notes. You definitely want to start keeping those at the very beginning of your study. And usually field notes are pretty unstructured. I'll show you a little format that you can use, but basically there's no right or wrong for the kinds of things that you're recording as you're making your field notes. If you're doing an intervention, like you're trying something new to see how it works, that's what you want to focus on in your field notes to make sure that you're keeping track along the way of how that intervention is working. You're recording things that you don't want to forget or insights that you have. So as you're making an observation or you're looking over samples of students' work and you get that kind of aha moment like, oh yes, look at this. You want to write that down. You're also going to record things you're wondering. So hopefully your study is going to lead you to more questions, and that's where those wonderings come in. I wonder what would happen if we tweaked this. I can't do it in this study, but what would happen if I did another study and I did this? That's where your wonderings come in. So for field notes, because you are literally in the field, you're in the classroom while your intervention is going on, while you're collecting data for your study, it's not always possible to sit down and write or type long flowing notes. So sometimes you have to just jot down a word or two or a phrase that will trigger your memory later on, and you can go back and fill in those details. That can be done on a sticky note, can be done on a device, can be done on a notepad, whatever system works the best for you. But keep in mind that if you jot down a few words that you do as soon as you can, you do need to go back and expand those field notes and fill in the details before you forget them. What to include in your field notes? The date, the time, what you observed. So that would be kind of just a reporting, like an unbiased. Today I saw so-and-so do such and such. Then you add your opinion. How does that relate to what you know? And what does it make you wonder? So there's that kind of unbiased description of what you saw, and then your analysis of what you saw, or typically those are parts of field notes. Remember that the field notes are for you to use in your study. There's no set format that you have to follow. There's no certain amount of times that you have to write things down. There's no certain things that you have to record. It's all what is going to help you be able to analyze your data and write about it later on. So obviously, writing field notes every day when you're collecting data would be the gold standard. That would be the ideal. But the reality is not everybody can do that, and don't feel guilty about that. Now, if you're not writing down anything, or if you're not going back and filling in those gaps with the expanded field notes, then I would be worried about what's going to happen when you go to analyze your data. But if you can get some key points down every few days, that will help you tremendously when it comes time to do your analysis. Okay, that concludes our series of videos on data collection.